Hi, awesome. Welcome all of you. Anirudh here once again. Now I will come directly as usual to the point itself. Now the topic which I am going to take it up today is very close to my heart itself is spirituality. Now, see, I mean, you must have noticed. I mean, how many of you, by the way, must have noticed? Like, when I say something, I always try to connect something with the spiritual part. I mean, people who knows me very well, they are pretty much aware. Like, I'm somehow inclined towards spirituality when I involve any topic itself. You know why? Because this is something I personally believe we as a human being are blessed with. Okay, and this is something. I mean, most of the people are not aware of. That is one challenges. But personally, if you are asking me, this is something as a human being, it's compulsory. It should be. It should be compulsory. Included in the school studies. If you are asking me, I should have done that. But anyway, I'll start off with one very specific and very beautiful example. What exactly is spirituality? Okay, now I'll give you a classical example again. Okay, the thing is have you seen a mobile? How many of you have seen the mobile? I mean, this is something very normal in today's day. Each and every person is carrying a mobile. Okay, now considering a mobile, now today's mobile is more of a smartphone, right? Earlier there used to be mobile like Nokia and all. I mean, it is more like a headset. Okay, that was, I mean, quite big enough. It's like a phone itself earlier. But today it is more sleek. The design is absolutely in a higher range, and if you can go to around 40,000-50,000 something, it can work like a computer itself. Anyway, the mobile has gone to a different level all put together. Now, considering mobile, people are more worried about the hardware, right? Okay, we know the features, we know how it works, and mobile is used for what? Mobile is used for sending text, calling people up, browsing, whatever. I mean, whatever the needs people do have, they take care through the mobile itself. Now, how many of you have noticed, once in a month or twice in a month, there is some message which comes from the company itself about upgrading yourself, about the upgrading and regarding the software part. How many of you are aware, or how many of you are noticing it? So what exactly that means by? That means by how much you take care of the hardware part. It is important, similarly at the same time, it is important to understand about the hardware. At the same time, it is also important to upgrade the software. So if the software get crashed, the hardware is bound to get destroyed. Okay, so similarly, we as a human being, in fact, we are the privileged, because as a human being, we are only having the consciousness, we are having that intelligence to understand the super consciousness. Okay, so that's a privilege has been given to us. Now, we as a human being, we have the hardware, which is the body. Okay, now if you are focusing too much about the body itself, that is fair enough. I mean, there is nothing wrong in it. People can go around, but if they ignore the software part, which is inside the inner self, then that means you are taking a huge risk in your life. Because the moment the software get disturbed, the entire ecosystem will go for a toss. And that's what happened. I'll give you the instance which has happened for the last 2 years. Just think about COVID-19, okay, which has hit big time last 2 years, which has created havoc globally. Okay, now this COVID-19, in the initial days, because when it has actually hit China, then slowly it has started, spreading all over the world. Initial days in India, okay, first 2 months when the government has asked for a total lockdown, the response from the people itself was very casual. I mean, they were in fact happy. Okay, they were pretty happy because they were staying at home. They were having fun with the family, because most of the time, in Mumbai, people travels almost 3-4 hours a day. Okay, traveling towards the office and all. So 3-4 hours anyway. That's go like just a blink of eye, and then thereafter an office and all. So people are pretty happy. Okay, now that after 2 months, when the contingency, when the lockdown started getting increased day by day, and the biggest issue which the people were facing, on that time, the criticality of the disease, the pandemic and the death ratio, because day in day out from the news channel was bombarding to the people itself from the day one. They have created such a big monster. In fact, it was a monster, no doubt, but the way it has been shared, the way it has been hyped, it was highly demoralizing. People have started understanding their life is at risk. People have started getting scared about that. Now those people who are in 2 years back never thought about death only. They were always in the state of motion of earning money, enjoying, going to sleep, and again starting the next day, start for running for job, earning money, or doing business, earning money and enjoying themselves. That was basically their priority. Now suddenly they come to know their life is at risk. They are supposed to die. Now that shock, that moment of understanding their life is limited right now, because they have started seeing people dying. They have started seeing their relatives dying. They have started seeing their closest of the closest people have died, and there was so much panic. I mean, that panic has literally created such a big distress time. I mean, most of the people whom I spoke during this last 2 years were under severe distress. Okay, why? Now this is where probably people should actually dig in and understand why. It is because people feel they are immortal. That is the catch. That is where the people got a huge setback, because their dreams of earning money, enjoying to the fullest, there was a lot of terminology. Life is one, enjoy, live life to the fullest. So all this terminology has gone for a sixer. Okay, when they realize that death is nearby knocking. Now this criticality has made people understand that there is some serious flaws. Okay, now the flaws is I'll take you 5-10,000 years back. Okay, in Bharat Bhumi, I'm talking about India. There was a process of teaching which used to be there in the early centuries. I mean, if not 5-10,000, even within 1,000 years and here and there, people used to go for Gurukul. Okay, now in Gurukul, the teachings was about everything, from finance to economics to science as well as spirituality. Okay, out there they used to be taught everything. Now considering that, you see the studying process what we are continuing right now, it is just making a robots to earn money. That's all. Nobody knows anything more than that. That's all. Finished. People are only running about money. They want to have some entertainment. They want to go for pubs. They want to go for discos. They want to go for fun, entertainment. Fair enough. You have your share of it. But you should know after that where you want to go, where you are going to land up someday. So people are not at all aware about that. Okay, that has created a huge setback during this last 2 years, because people, individuals come to a terms understanding they may be the next person to die. Now who loves dying? Nobody loves dying. So that's where the depression, the challenges has taken up. Now those people who used to always think like, they are going to stay forever, suddenly they realize, they are supposed to die, then what will happen? They're bound to be a depression, they're bound to be a, distress, and the panic attack, 60-70% of the people during this last 2 years has suffered with a panic attack. Okay, the COVID-19 patients, and that's something, for each and every individual, that's a shock. Now, I have studied this last 2 years what has happened. Okay, now I have come into a conclusion. There is 3 things which has actually created a huge impact in the individual's mind. One is death. Okay, the severity of COVID-19 and the death ratio. People were dying. That has created a huge setback to the psyche of the individual. The second point is the job loss. Okay, that also created a huge setback because livelihood has gone for a toss. Even those people who were working with the big companies, they were getting less salary, 50%, 40%, 30%. The salary has been deducted. So that again is a huge suffering, huge setback. Okay, because when the people who are having their own flats, they have taken loan, of course, from the bank and all. When their salary get cut, and this it's become very difficult for them even to take care of the EMI, forget about the other things. Okay, that's a real crisis situation, and that situation also has created a huge setback to the psyche of the people. Now the third point again, which also has created a huge setback, and that is one thing which is still continuing. Okay, and that is the uncertainty of the future, because people has realized if this COVID-19, in initial days 3-4 months people are okay, but people started realizing if it goes for 2-3 years more, then almost the entire livelihood will go for a toss. People who are actually having business, they got a huge setback. Okay, and even for the job people also, those people who are working in the even top companies, even the IT companies, there are a lot of IT companies, they were asking their people to leave. Okay, and I have seen many people who are very close to me, they were performer. Okay, they have been asked to go. So I have come across with this type of people, and they were under severe stress. Now, why I am talking about spirituality? Because if at all, because I met many people for the last 2 years, I discussed with them, I helped many people. Okay, I'm not boasting, it is because of Krishna. Okay, it's because I have been in this spiritual path for the last 20 years, and I have been studying Bhagavad Gita, I have been studying mantras, I have been studying the vibrations, mantra vibrations, how it works and how it changed the life, and it has changed my life. So I know something about it. So when I started discussing with the people out there, and when I have asked them to know more about the inner self rather than searching for outer surface and scratching the outer surface, so the transformation which has happened was unbelievable. Okay, now there is a lot of things like what I understand is the seed. The issue is basically we as an individual, we as a human being feels like in this world we are immortal. So please take it out from your mind. We are not immortal. We are going to die. There is a time bound phase we have to fetch around, and you have to work. Okay, and that's all for today. I will come back with one more episode of it. Whoever wants to know more about it, type it down. And if it's a bulb on moment, it's a right bulb on moment. I'm looking forward for your feedback. I'm looking forward for your statement, comments, and whatever you want to share my videos, please share with your friends and colleagues. Okay, have a great day. Good night. God bless. Bye bye.